Chapter 1. The universe is a vast and mysterious place, filled with infinite possibilities and parallel realities. In one such parallel universe, very close to our own, a pivotal figure never walked the earth. Jesus Christ, the central figure of Christianity, was never born. This absence of a major religious figure had profound and far-reaching consequences, shaping the course of history in ways that are both fascinating and profound. In this alternate reality, the ancient Greeks, with their emphasis on reason, philosophy, and scientific inquiry, continued to thrive and innovate without the interruption of dark ages or religious wars. The Roman Empire, unchallenged by the rise of Christianity, expanded its influence and knowledge, merging with the sophisticated civilizations of the East. The Mayans, with their advanced understanding of astronomy, mathematics, and architecture, contributed their wisdom to this burgeoning global culture. This fusion of Greek rationality and Mayan spirituality gave birth to a unique civilization known as the Nexarians. The Nexarians valued knowledge, innovation, and harmony with the natural world. They built upon the foundations laid by their ancestors, pushing the boundaries of science, technology, and philosophy at an unprecedented rate. Without the Crusades and the religious conflicts that plagued our own timeline, the Nexarians were free to explore, innovate, and collaborate. Their advancements in sustainable energy, advanced materials, and exotic propulsion systems allowed them to build sprawling metropolises on distant planets and moons. They became masters of the stars, exploring the universe and forming alliances with other advanced civilizations. The Nexarians' emphasis on cooperation and mutual understanding led to the formation of a galactic community that valued peace and progress. They shared their knowledge and technology with other species, fostering a culture of unity and enlightenment. Their cities were marvels of engineering and design, blending seamlessly with the natural environment and harnessing the power of renewable energy sources. In this world, the concept of a dark age was foreign. Scientific progress and cultural exchange accelerated at an unprecedented rate, leading to advancements that would take our own timelines centuries to achieve. The Nexarians' understanding of the universe was deep and profound, allowing them to manipulate energy, matter, and even the fabric of space-time itself. But as the Nexarians expanded their influence and explored the stars, they began to encounter strange and inexplicable phenomena. Their proximity to our universe, which they referred to as the echoverse, started to cause problems. The nuclear tests conducted on our Earth began to resonate across the dimensional fabric, causing catastrophic events on the Nexarians' world. These events, similar to the Tunguska explosion, were not only destructive but also disrupted the delicate balance of their ecosystem. The Nexarians, being a highly advanced and empathetic civilization, were determined to find a way to communicate with us and prevent further damage to their world. They developed techno-shamanic interdimensional machines, which we know as UFOs, to bridge the gap between our realities. These machines, powered by a combination of advanced technology and spiritual energy, allowed the Nexarians to traverse the dimensional divide and attempt to establish contact with humanity. The UFOs, with their unusual shapes and propulsion systems, were designed to be noticed by humans, but not to be overtly threatening. The Nexarians hoped that by making their presence known, they could initiate a dialogue with our species and find a way to mitigate the effects of our nuclear tests on their world. However, as we know, human history has been marked by fear, mistrust, and aggression towards the unknown. The UFO sightings were often met with hostility, and the Nexarians' attempts at communication were misunderstood or ignored. The Nexarians, despite their best efforts, found themselves facing a species that was not only destructive to their own world, but also seemingly incapable of understanding their peaceful intentions. Chapter 2. Kennard is a curious and open-minded individual with a passion for science, history, and philosophy. He'd always been fascinated by the UFO phenomenon, but never thought he'd be at the center of it. Mac's journey begins with a strange encounter in the desert, where they witness a UFO sighting that defies explanation. As he tries to process what he's seen, he starts to experience strange visions and auditory hallucinations, which he later discovers are attempts by the Nexarians to establish contact. The Nexarians, who have been monitoring Mac's online activities and are impressed by his intellectual curiosity, decide to make contact. They use their interdimensional machines to create a portal that allows Mac to travel to their dimension, where he meets a Nexarian ambassador named Kennard. Kennard explains the situation to Mac, revealing the true nature of the UFOs and the devastating effects of humanity's nuclear tests on the Nexarians' world. Mac is shocked, but also fascinated by the opportunity to learn from an advanced civilization. Kennard shares knowledge about the Nexarians' history, technology, and culture, and Mac begins to understand the depth of their intentions. As Mac returns to our own world, he's filled with a sense of purpose and responsibility. He realizes that he has a unique opportunity to spread the truth about the Nexarians and their mission, and to help prevent further destruction of the Nexarians' world. Mac starts by creating a blog and social media accounts where he shares his experiences and the information he's learned from Kennard. He writes about the Greco-Mayan civilization, their advanced technology, and their peaceful intentions. However, he's met with skepticism and ridicule by many online commentators who dismiss his story as a hoax or a fantasy. Undeterred, Mac decides to take the message to the podcast circuit. He starts appearing on shows focused on UFOs, conspiracy theories, and alternative history, where he shares the story and answers questions from hosts and listeners. At first, he's met with hostility and mockery, but as he continues to share the message, he starts to gain a following of people who are curious and open-minded. As Mac's online presence grows, he attracts the attention of mainstream media outlets who are intrigued by the story and the potential implications of the Nexarians' existence. Mac is interviewed on TV and radio shows, and the message starts to reach a wider audience. However, not everyone is happy about Mac's newfound fame. Governments and corporations, who have a vested interest in keeping the truth about the UFOs and the Nexarians hidden, start to take notice of Mac's activities. They launch a smear campaign against Mac, trying to discredit him and undermine his credibility. Despite the challenges, Mac remains committed to his mission. He continues to share the story, and as he does, he inspires others to come forward and share their own experiences with the Nexarians. A community of like-minded individuals forms around Mac, and together they start to build a movement that seeks to raise awareness about the Nexarians and their mission. As the movement grows, Mac receives a message from Kennard, who informs him that the Nexarians are planning to make a dramatic appearance on the world stage. They will reveal themselves to humanity in a way that will be impossible to ignore, and they want Mac to be a part of it. Mac is torn between excitement and trepidation, knowing that this event will change the course of human history forever. As Mac's message gains traction, the government takes notice and decides to take action. They see Mac as a threat to national security and a potential disruptor of the status quo. A secret task force, known as the Agency, is formed to handle the situation. The Agency, led by a ruthless and cunning agent named Rachel Myers, is tasked with silencing Mac and discrediting his claims. They start by monitoring his online activities, tracking his movements, and gathering intelligence on his personal life. Mac, unaware of the danger lurking in the shadows, continues to spread his message. He receives a tip about a major UFO sighting in a remote area and decides to investigate. As he arrives at the location, he's ambushed by the agency's agents. Rachel and her team try to apprehend Mac, but he manages to escape and flees into the nearby woods. The agency gives chase, and a thrilling cat-and-mouse game ensues. Mac uses his knowledge of the wilderness and his wits to evade capture, but the agency's resources and manpower are overwhelming. As the chase continues, Mac starts to tire. He's been running for hours, and his phone's battery is dead. Just when he thinks all hope is lost, he hears a strange humming noise in the distance. The humming grows louder, and a sleek silver disc appears in the sky. The disc, a Nexarian craft, descends and hovers above Mac. A hatch opens, and Kennard, the Nexarian ambassador, emerges. Kennard rushes to Mac's side and helps him aboard the disc. As they lift off into the sky, the agency's agents are left stunned and bewildered. Rachel, furious at being outmaneuvered, vows to capture Mac and uncover the secrets of the Nexarians. The disc with Mac and Kennard on board soars through the skies, evading the agency's attempts to intercept them. They fly over vast landscapes, and Mac marvels at the breathtaking views. Kennard explains that the Nexarions have been monitoring Mac's situation and decided to intervene. They couldn't allow the agency to silence him, as his message is crucial to their mission. As they fly, Mac asks Kennard about the Nexarians' plans. Kennard reveals that they're preparing for a major event, one that will reveal their presence to the world and change the course of human history. Mac is both excited and terrified at the prospect. The disc eventually lands in a hidden location, where Mac is introduced to a group of Nexarian allies, including humans who have been working with the Nexarians in secret. Mac learns that he's not alone in his quest for truth, and that there are many others who share his vision. However, the agency is still on the hunt, and Rachel is more determined than ever to capture Mac and crush the Nexarians' plans. The stakes are higher than ever, and Mac must decide whether to continue his mission or go into hiding. Chapter 3. In the depths of time, long before the rise of humanity, the Earth was a vast and untamed wilderness, teeming with life in all its myriad forms. Among the countless species that roamed the planet, one stood out for its intelligence and adaptability: the Hadrosaurus. These large herbivorous dinosaurs were known for their distinctive crests and their complex social structures. But one particular group of hadrosaurs would go on to shape the course of history in ways that few could have imagined. In a hidden valley sheltered from the harsh realities of the outside world, a group of hadrosaurs began to evolve in isolation. Over generations, they developed unique physical and mental traits that set them apart from their kin. Their bodies grew more slender and agile, their scales took on an iridescent sheen, and their large black eyes developed a keen intelligence that was unmatched among their contemporaries. These hadrosaurs, who would later be known as the Krail, began to exhibit behaviors and abilities that hinted at a higher consciousness. The Krail's evolution was not merely physical, it was also cognitive. They developed a complex language, a rich culture, and a deep understanding of the natural world. They learned to harness the power of crystals and other natural materials, using them to create tools and weapons that were far more advanced than anything else on the planet. Their society became structured and organized, with leaders who guided their people through the challenges of their isolated existence. But the Krail's isolation was not to last forever. As the Earth underwent its periodic cataclysmic changes, the hidden valley was gradually exposed to the outside world. The Krail, now a fully evolved and technologically advanced species, found themselves face to face with the other inhabitants of the planet. They quickly realized that they were unique, that they were different from the other dinosaurs and the emerging mammals. The Krail's advanced technology and intelligence allowed them to adapt to the changing world, but they also made them a target for those who sought to exploit their knowledge. They were hunted and persecuted, forced to retreat into the shadows and hide their true nature. But the Krail were resilient, and they refused to be extinguished. They retreated to the depths of the earth, building vast underground cities where they could live in peace and continue to develop their technology. Over the millennia, the Krail's technology advanced at an astonishing rate. They learned to manipulate energy, to travel through space and time, and to control the very fabric of reality itself. Their cities became marvels of engineering, blending seamlessly with the natural environment and harnessing the power of the Earth's core. They developed a deep understanding of the universe, of the forces that shaped it, and of the beings that inhabited it. But the Krail's isolation and their advanced technology also made them paranoid and secretive. They saw the other species of the universe as threats, as potential enemies who sought to exploit their knowledge and destroy their way of life. They began to manipulate and control the other species, using brainwave technology to pull the strings from behind the scenes. They infiltrated governments, corporations, and other powerful institutions, shaping the course of history to suit their own agenda. The Krail's true intentions were hidden behind a veil of secrecy and manipulation. They sought to create a universe that was ordered and controlled, where chaos and unpredictability were eliminated. They saw themselves as the architects of a new era, a time when the universe would be united under their guidance and wisdom. But the Krail's manipulations were not without consequences. Their actions often led to conflict and war, as the other species of the universe resisted their attempts at control. The Krail, with their advanced technology and cunning, were always one step ahead, but they also knew that their actions could not go unchallenged forever. Chapter 4. As Mac joins forces with the Nexarians, he learns that they have been aware of a race known as the Krail for some time. The Krail are an ancient, technologically advanced civilization of evolved hadrosaurs that have been living in secret beneath the Earth's surface. They have been manipulating human history from the shadows, using their technology and cunning to influence the course of human events. The Krail have infiltrated governments, corporations, and other powerful institutions, pulling the strings from behind the scenes. The agency, desperate to capture Mac and silence the Nexarians, forms an alliance with the Krail. Rachel, the ruthless agent, meets with the Krail's leader, a towering, scaly creature named Archaea. Archaea is a master strategist and a skilled manipulator, with a deep understanding of human psychology and behavior. Archaea sees the potential benefits of an alliance with the agency and agrees to provide them with advanced technology and resources in exchange for their cooperation. The agency, with the Krail's help, launches a series of attacks on the Nexarians' allies and safe houses, trying to capture Mac and disrupt the Nexarians' plans. The Nexarians, however, are not caught off guard. They have been preparing for this eventuality and have developed a counter-strategy to deal with the Krail's involvement. Kennard, the Nexarian ambassador, reveals to Mac that they have been working on a device that can neutralize the Krail's advanced technology and level the playing field. As the battle between the Nexarians and the Agency Krail alliance intensifies, Mac finds himself at the forefront of the conflict. He is forced to use all his skills and knowledge to evade capture and stay one step ahead of his enemies. The stakes are higher than ever, with the fate of humanity hanging in the balance. The Nexarians' plans for a major event are still on track, but the Krail's involvement has added a new layer of complexity to the situation. As the war between the Nexarians and the Krail Agency alliance reaches its climax, Mac receives a shocking revelation. The Krail's true intentions are not what they seem, and their alliance with the agency is just a small part of a larger, more sinister plan. The Krail have been manipulating human history for centuries, shaping the course of events to suit their own agenda. They have been secretly controlling the war machine, fueling conflicts and wars to harvest the energy of human suffering and fear. The Nexarians, with their peaceful intentions and advanced technology, are a threat to the Krail's plans. The Krail will stop at nothing to eliminate the Nexarians and maintain their grip on human society. As the war between the Nexarians and the Krail rages on, a brilliant Nexarian scientist named Orenthal creates a revolutionary device that could change the course of the conflict. The device, known as the Krail Transporter, harnesses shamanic energy to lock onto Krail biosignatures and transport them to a distant planet all at once. Arenthal's invention is a game-changer. The device can target the Krail's unique biological signature, allowing it to transport them without the need for a physical wormhole or portal. The Nexarians realize that this device could be the key to ending the war and ridding Earth of the Krail threat. The Nexarians decide to use the Krail Transporter to transport the Krail to a distant planet where they can live in isolation and no longer pose a threat to humanity. The device is activated, and in an instant, all Krail on Earth are transported to their new home. Chapter 5. With the Krail threat neutralized, the Nexarians and humans begin to rebuild and restore their world. Mac, who has been working closely with the Nexarians, becomes a key figure in the effort to create a new era of peace and cooperation on Earth. As the years pass, Mac becomes known as the Architect of Peace, a charismatic leader who works tirelessly to promote understanding and cooperation between humans and Nexarians. He travels the world, giving speeches and meeting with world leaders to advocate for a new era of peace and demilitarization. Mac's message resonates with the people, and he becomes a beloved figure, hailed for his wisdom and compassion. He works with the Nexarians to establish a new international framework for cooperation and diplomacy, one that prioritizes mutual understanding and respect over military might. Under Mac's leadership, Earth is transformed. The planet is demilitarized, and the resources once devoted to war are redirected towards sustainable development, education, and the arts. The Nexarians, who had been watching from the sidelines, begin to re-engage with humanity, sharing their knowledge and wisdom to help create a brighter, more peaceful future. As the architect of peace, Mac continues to work towards a world where humanity can thrive, in harmony with the planet and the universe. He faces new challenges and opportunities, but remains committed to his vision of a peaceful and cooperative world. The Krail, still reeling from their sudden and unexpected transportation, are furious and humiliated. They had been the dominant force on Earth, manipulating humans and pulling the strings from behind the scenes. But now they find themselves stranded on a distant planet, forced to start anew. Archaea, the Krail leader, is consumed by rage and a desire for revenge. She sees the Nexarions and Mac as responsible for their downfall, and she vows to make them pay. The Krail begin to adapt to their new surroundings, using their knowledge and skill to terraform the planet and make it habitable. But as they work to rebuild, their anger and resentment only grow. They become increasingly obsessed with the idea of revenge, and they begin to plot their return to Earth. Archaea becomes fixated on the idea of destroying the Nexarians and humanity, and she begins to gather her forces for a massive counterattack. The Krail start to develop new technologies, ones that will allow them to travel back to Earth and exact their revenge. They create powerful ships, ones that can withstand the vast distances between stars, and they begin to assemble a massive armada. As the Krail prepare for war, they also begin to change. They undergo a process of rapid evolution, adapting to their new environment and becoming even more formidable than before. Their bodies begin to mutate, growing stronger and more resilient. Archaea, now more powerful than ever, becomes a symbol of the Krail's fury and determination. She rallies her people, urging them to fight for their right to return to Earth and reclaim their dominance. The Krail, driven by their desire for revenge, become a force to be reckoned with, and the universe trembles at the thought of their return. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Mac and the Nexarions are unaware of the Krail's plans. They are too busy building their new society, one that is based on cooperation and mutual respect. But as the Krail's power grows, it's only a matter of time before they launch their counterattack. The stage is set for an epic showdown between the Krail and the Nexarions, with humanity caught in the middle. The fate of the universe hangs in the balance, and the outcome is far from certain. Chapter 6. Meet Zorvath, a member of the Zha'thik species from a planet called Zaridia. The Zha'thik are a tall, slender species with scaly, iridescent skin and large black eyes. They are a highly intelligent and technologically advanced species, known for their expertise in interstellar travel and diplomacy. Zorvath is a skilled ambassador and explorer who has been traveling the universe for many years, gathering knowledge and forming alliances with various species. He has heard rumors of the Krail's plans to return to Earth and has come to warn Mac and the others about the impending threat. As Zorvath arrives on Earth, he is struck by the beauty and diversity of the planet. He is greeted by Mac, who is initially wary of the stranger, but is soon won over by Zorvath's warm and friendly demeanor. Zorvath explains that he has come to Earth to warn them about the Krail's plans, and that he has information about their military strength and tactics. He offers to share his knowledge with Mac and the others, and to help them prepare for the upcoming battle. Mac is grateful for Zorvath's warning and accepts his offer of help. Together they begin to discuss strategies and tactics for defending against the Krail. Zorvath shares his knowledge of the Krail's weaknesses and vulnerabilities, and helps Mac and the others to develop a plan to counter their attack. Mac and Zorvath form a strong bond while working together, and Zorvath becomes a valuable ally in the fight against the Krail. He uses his knowledge of the universe and interstellar drives to help the humans prepare for the battle ahead, and he fights alongside them with courage and honor. As the Krail armada emerges from the depths of space, the people of Earth are thrown into a state of panic. The governments of the world, still reeling from the revelation of the Krail's existence, scramble to respond to the impending threat. Mac, now a key figure in the Earth's defense efforts, works closely with the Nexarions to develop a strategy to counter the Krail's attack. The Nexarions, with their advanced technology, have been preparing for this moment, and they share their knowledge with the humans to help them defend their planet. The Earth's Defense Forces, a coalition of military units from around the world, are mobilized to face the Krail threat. The Nexarions provide them with advanced technology, including energy shields, gravity manipulators, and exotic propulsion systems, to help them counter the Krail's superior numbers and firepower. As the Krail armada approaches, The Earth's defense forces take up positions around the planet. The Nexarions, with their advanced sensors and surveillance technology, provide real-time intelligence on the Krail's movements and tactics, allowing the humans to respond quickly and effectively. The battle begins as the Krail Armada enters Earth's orbit. The Krail ships, massive and imposing, unleash a barrage of energy blasts and missiles against the Earth's defenses. The humans, with their newfound technology, fight back with everything they have, but they are vastly outnumbered. The Nexarions, however, have a few tricks up their sleeve. They deploy their techno-shamanic machines, which create powerful energy fields that disrupt the Krail's technology and weaken their ships. The humans take advantage of the opening, launching a series of counterattacks that push the Krail back. But the Krail are not easily defeated. They adapt to the humans' tactics, using their knowledge of advanced technologies to develop countermeasures against the Nexarians' energy fields. The battle rages on, with both sides suffering heavy losses. As the fight continues, Mac and the Nexarians realize that they need to come up with a new strategy if they hope to defeat the Krail. They begin to brainstorm, using their combined knowledge of the Krail's technology and tactics to develop a plan that will give them the upper hand. Meanwhile, Zorvath, the Zha'thik ambassador, has been working behind the scenes to gather a coalition of alien species to aid the Earth in its defense. He has managed to convince several species to join the fight, including the enigmatic and powerful Xantheans, who possess technology that could potentially turn the tide of the battle. As the Krail continue to press their attack, the Earth's defenses begin to falter. The humans are tired and their defenses are beginning to fail. But just when all seems lost, the Xantheans arrive, their ships emerging from the depths of space like ghosts. Chapter 7. The Xantheans are a mysterious and ancient species, with technology that is beyond human understanding. They possess devices that can manipulate space-time itself, creating wormholes and distortions that allow them to move their ships across vast distances in the blink of an eye. The Xantheans join the battle, using their technology to create a series of devastating attacks against the Krail. The Krail ships are torn apart, their hulls breached by the Xantheans' energy blasts. The humans, emboldened by the Xantheans' arrival, launch a series of counterattacks that push the Krail back. The battle is far from over, but the tide has begun to turn. The Earth's defenses are holding, and the Krail are beginning to falter. But as the fight continues, Mac and the Nexarians realize that the Krail are not the only threat they face. There is a deeper, more sinister force at work, one that threatens the very fabric of space-time itself. The Krail, it seems, are not just mindless monsters. They are mere pawns in a much larger game, one that is being played by a powerful and malevolent force that seeks to destroy entire galaxies. The Earth and the entire universe are about to face a threat that will challenge everything they thought they knew about the nature of reality itself. According to Xanthean historical archives, their civilization is ancient and wise, with a deep understanding of the universe and its workings. They possess technology that is beyond human comprehension and have developed a unique philosophy that blends science and spirituality. The Xantheans' homeworld, Xanthia, is a planet of breathtaking beauty, with sprawling cities that seem to grow organically from the landscape. The Xantheans themselves are a peaceful and enigmatic species, with a deep connection to the natural world and a profound respect for the balance of the universe. However, the Xantheans' history is not without darkness. They have faced numerous challenges and threats over the centuries, including a catastrophic event known as the Great Devouring that threatened to destroy their entire civilization. The Great Devouring was caused by a malevolent force known as the Voidbringer, a being of immense power and malevolence that seeks to destroy entire galaxies and civilizations. The Voidbringer is a creature of pure energy with the ability to manipulate space-time itself and bend the fabric of reality to its will. The Xantheans, with their advanced technology and deep understanding of the universe, were able to defeat the Voidbringer and banish it to a distant realm. However, they knew that the Voidbringer would one day return, and that they would have to be prepared to face it again. The Xantheans' intervention in the conflict between the humans and the Krail is motivated by their desire to prevent the Voidbringer's return. They believe that the Krail are being manipulated by the Voidbringer, and that their actions are part of a larger plan to bring about the destruction of entire galaxies. The Xantheans' leader, the wise and powerful Archaea, has been searching for a way to stop the Voidbringer's return for centuries. She believes that the key to defeating the Voidbringer lies in the ancient technology of the Nexarions, and that Mac and his allies hold the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. As the Xantheans join the battle against the Krail, they bring with them their advanced technology and their deep understanding of the universe. However, they also bring a sense of urgency and desperation, knowing that the Voidbringer's return is imminent and that the fate of the universe hangs in the balance. According to ancient lore, the Voidbringer was once a powerful and benevolent being known as the Architect. The Architect was a cosmic entity that had created entire galaxies and civilizations, shaping the fabric of the space-time itself to bring about a universe of unparalleled beauty and complexity. However, as time went on, the Architect began to feel a sense of disillusionment and discontent. It had created countless civilizations, each with their own unique cultures and achievements. But it had also created countless conflicts and wars. The Architect began to feel that its creations were flawed, that they were incapable of achieving true harmony and balance. In a moment of cosmic despair, the Architect turned against its own creations, seeking to destroy the very galaxies and civilizations it had once brought into being. This event, known as the Great Transcendence, marked the beginning of the Voidbringer's reign of terror. The Voidbringer, once a benevolent creator, had become a malevolent force, driven by a desire to destroy and annihilate all that existed. It saw itself as the ultimate arbiter of the universe, deciding what was worthy of existence and what was not. Over time, the Voidbringer's power grew, and it began to manipulate and control various civilizations and species, using them to further its own goals. The Krail, with their advanced technology and militaristic culture, were one of the first species to fall under the Voidbringer's control. The Voidbringer's ultimate goal is to bring about a state of cosmic entropy, where all matter and energy are reduced to a state of pure chaos and randomness. It sees the universe as a flawed and imperfect creation, and believes that the only way to achieve true perfection is to destroy it and start anew. The Voidbringer's motivations are complex and multifaceted, driven by a mix of cosmic despair, megalomania, and a twisted sense of purpose. It is a being of pure energy, unbound by the limitations of space and time, and it sees itself as the ultimate authority in the universe. As the battle against the Krail rages on, the Xantheans are met with a sudden and unexpected surge in the Krail's power. The Krail ships, once faltering and disorganized, are now reinforced with a massive fleet of dark, twisted vessels that seem to be made of the very fabric of space-time itself. Chapter 8. The Xantheans are caught off guard, their advanced technology and tactics no match for the sheer scale and ferocity of the Krail's new reinforcements. The Krail, once a scattered and disorganized force, are now a unified and formidable army, driven by a singular purpose and fueled by an otherworldly energy. As the battle rages on, the Xantheans begin to realize that the Krail's sudden increase in power is not just a result of their own technology and tactics, but rather a sign of something much more sinister. The Voidbringer, the malevolent force that has been manipulating the Krail from behind the scenes, has begun to exert its influence more directly. The Voidbringer's return, once thought to be a distant and uncertain event, is now imminent. The Krail's reinforcements are not just ships and soldiers, but rather a manifestation of the Voidbringer's own power and energy. The Voidbringer is using the Krail as a vessel, a conduit to channel its own energy and influence into the universe. As the Xantheans struggle to comprehend the true nature of the threat they face, they are met with a shocking revelation. The Voidbringer's return is not just a possibility, but a certainty. The Voidbringer has already begun to break through the boundaries of space-time, its influence spreading like a cancer throughout the universe. The Xantheans, the humans, and the Nexarions are faced with a daunting task. They must find a way to stop the Voidbringer's return, to prevent the destruction of the universe and the annihilation of all life. But as they look out into the void, they see only darkness and despair. The Voidbringer's influence is spreading, its power growing with each passing moment. As the tide of the battle turns for the worse, the Xantheans, the humans, and the Nexarions are met with a terrifying sight. The Voidbringer's influence has created a rift in space-time, a portal to a realm of darkness and chaos. The Krail, now fully under the Voidbringer's control, are pouring through the rift, their numbers endless and their power growing with each passing moment. As the Voidbringer's influence continues to spread, the Xantheans, humans, and Nexarions realize that their current position is untenable. The Krail, now a mere puppet of the Voidbringer, are overwhelming in numbers and firepower. The Xantheans' advanced technology, which had initially given them an edge, is now being pushed to its limits. In a desperate bid to preserve their forces and prevent a complete rout, the Xantheans decide to use their technology to evacuate Earth and the Allied fleets to a distant location. The plan is to regroup, reassess, and come up with a new strategy to counter the Voidbringer's growing power. The Xantheans' technology, which had been used to create stable wormholes and facilitate faster-than-light travel, is now repurposed to create a massive temporary portal. The portal, which is stabilized by the Xantheans' advanced energy shields, is large enough to accommodate the entire Allied fleet, as well as the population of Earth. As the Krail close in, the Xantheans, humans, and Nexarions make a frantic dash for the portal. The evacuation is chaotic, with ships and personnel pouring through the portal in a desperate bid to escape the Voidbringer's influence. The Xantheans' technology holds up remarkably well, despite the immense strain of stabilizing the portal and facilitating the evacuation. However, the process is not without its risks. The portal is unstable, and the energy required to maintain it is enormous. As the last of the Allied ships and personnel pass through the portal, the Xantheans seal it behind them, preventing the Krail from following. The portal collapses, leaving behind a trail of distorted space-time in a universe that is forever changed. Chapter 9. The Xantheans, humans, and Nexarions find themselves in a distant, uncharted region of space. The location is unknown, but it is far enough away from the Voidbringer's influence to provide a temporary safe haven. As they regroup and assess their situation, the Allies realize that their evacuation has come at a great cost. The Voidbringer's influence has spread, and the universe is now in a state of chaos. The Krail, once a formidable foe, are now mere puppets of the Voidbringer, and their numbers are growing by the minute. The Xantheans, humans, and Nexarions know that they cannot stay in hiding forever. They must come up with a new plan, one that will allow them to counter the Voidbringer's growing power and restore balance to the universe. But for now, they must lick their wounds, tend to their injured, and come to terms with the enormity of their defeat. The Voidbringer's return has changed the course of history, and the Allies are faced with a daunting task: to find a way to stop the Voidbringer, or risk being consumed by the very darkness that threatens to destroy the universe. As they ponder their next move, the Allies receive a transmission from an unknown source. The message is garbled and unclear, but it speaks of an ancient civilization that may hold the key to defeating the Voidbringer. The civilization, known as the Elder Ones, is said to possess technology and knowledge that is beyond the understanding of the Xantheans, humans, and Nexarions. As the Allies continue to search for the Elder Ones, they begin to realize that their quest may be more challenging than they initially thought. Despite their best efforts, they are unable to find any concrete evidence of the Elder One's existence. The Xantheans, with their advanced technology, scour the universe for any signs of the Elder Ones, but their searches yield nothing. The humans and Nexarions, meanwhile, pore over ancient texts and scour the ruins of long-abandoned civilizations, but they too come up empty-handed. As the days turn into weeks, and the weeks turn into months, the Allies begin to lose hope. They have been searching for so long, and yet they have found nothing. It is as if the Elder Ones never existed at all. The Xantheans, who had been so confident in their ability to find the Elder Ones, begin to doubt their own abilities. They start to wonder if they had been foolish to think that they could find a civilization that had been lost to the ages. The humans and Nexarions, meanwhile, begin to feel the weight of their failure. They had been so sure that they could find the Elder Ones, and that they could use their knowledge and technology to defeat the Voidbringer. But now it seems that they may have been mistaken. As the Allies continue to search, they begin to experience strange occurrences. Equipment malfunctions and strange energy readings begin to appear on their sensors. It is as if they are being watched, and that something is trying to communicate with them. But despite these occurrences, the Allies are unable to find any concrete evidence of the Elder Ones. They begin to feel like they are chasing a ghost and that they may never find what they are looking for. As the months turn into years, the Allies begin to lose hope. They have been searching for so long, and yet they have found nothing. It is as if the Elder Ones are a myth, a legend that was never meant to be found. But then, just when they are about to give up, they receive a strange transmission. It is a garbled message full of static and interference, but it seems to be coming from an unknown source. The message is simple, just a few words, but it gives the Allies a glimmer of hope. Look to the abyss, it says. The Elder Ones are not what you expect. The Allies are unsure what to make of the message, but they are determined to follow its lead. They set a course for the abyss, a region of space that is known for its treacherous asteroid fields and unpredictable energy storms. As they journey deeper into the abyss, they begin to experience strange occurrences. The energy storms grow more intense, and the asteroid fields become more treacherous. It is as if they are being tested, and that something is trying to prevent them from reaching their destination. But the Allies are undeterred. They press on, driven by their determination to find the Elder Ones and defeat the Voidbringer. And as they journey deeper into the abyss, they begin to realize that they are not alone. Something is out there, watching them, waiting for them. The Allies are about to discover that the abyss is not just a region of space, but a gateway to something much more mysterious. As the Allies journey deeper into the abyss, they begin to notice a strange, pulsating energy emanating from the center of the universe. The energy is dark and foreboding, and it seems to be pulling them in with an otherworldly force. As they draw closer to the source of the energy, they see a massive, swirling vortex of darkness. The vortex is so dense and intense that it seems to be warping the fabric of space-time itself. The Allies are hesitant to approach the vortex, but they know that they must confront the darkness that lies at the heart of the universe. They steel themselves for the unknown and fly their ships into the heart of the vortex. As they enter the vortex, they are immediately struck by the intense energy that surrounds them. The energy is like nothing they have ever experienced before, and it seems to be affecting their ships and their minds in strange and unpredictable ways. Despite the challenges they face, the Allies press on, determined to reach the heart of the vortex and confront the darkness that lies within. As they journey deeper into the vortex, they begin to see strange, twisted visions of the past and the future. They see the birth and death of stars, the rise and fall of civilizations, and the infinite expanse of the universe stretching out before them. They see the Voidbringer, its true form revealed in all its terrifying glory. The Allies realize that the Voidbringer is not just a monster, but a symptom of a greater problem. The universe itself is flawed, its fabric torn apart by the conflicting forces of creation and destruction. As they reach the heart of the vortex, the Allies see a figure standing before them. It is an ancient being, one that has been alive for billions of years and has witnessed the birth and death of countless civilizations. The being speaks to the Allies in a voice that is both familiar and yet completely alien. It tells them that they have been brought to this place for a reason, that they have a crucial role to play in the fate of the universe. The being explains that the universe is a complex, interconnected web of energy and matter. It is a delicate balance of creation and destruction, and it is threatened by the Voidbringer's influence. The Allies are told that they must make a choice. They can either succumb to the darkness and allow the Voidbringer to consume the universe, or they can find a way to restore the balance and save the universe from destruction. The Allies know that the choice will not be easy. They will have to confront their own fears and doubts, and they will have to make sacrifices that will change them forever. But they also know that they have no choice. They must act or risk losing everything that they hold dear. They steel themselves for the challenge ahead, and they prepare to face the darkness that lies at the heart of the universe. As they stand before the ancient being, the Allies are filled with a sense of determination and purpose. They know that they will face unimaginable challenges, but they are ready to face them head-on. They are ready to confront the darkness, to restore the balance of the universe, and to save the universe from the Voidbringer's destruction. The fate of the universe hangs in the balance, and the Allies are the only ones who can tip the scales. The ancient being speaks again, its voice echoing in the minds of the Allies. The choice is yours, it says. Will you succumb to the darkness, or will you find a way to restore the balance? The fate of the universe is in your hands. The Allies take a deep breath and they make their decision. They will not succumb to the darkness. They will find a way to restore the balance, no matter the cost. Chapter 10. The ancient being, whose voice resonated through their minds, vanished, leaving the Allies in the heart of the vortex. The darkness surrounding them seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, as if the very fabric of reality was alive and aware. Max, standing at the forefront, turned to the others. We have our mission. We need to restore the balance of the universe. But how do we do that? Kennard, the Nexarion ambassador, stepped forward. The ancient being spoke of a delicate balance between creation and destruction. We must find a way to counteract the Voidbringer's influence, to bring harmony back to the universe. Zorvath, the Zha'thik ambassador, nodded. The Voidbringer's power is immense, but it is not invincible. We have the combined strength of our civilizations. We must use our technology, our knowledge, and our unity to fight back. Arinthal, the brilliant Nexarian scientist, spoke up. I have been studying the Voidbringer's energy patterns. There is a frequency that resonates with its core. If we can amplify and disrupt this frequency, we might be able to weaken it. The Xantheans, led by Archaea, contributed their insights. Our technology can manipulate space-time. We can create a containment field around the Voidbringer, isolating it from the rest of the universe while we work to neutralize its influence. With a plan in mind, the Allies set to work. They combined their advanced technologies, merging the Nexarions' techno-shamanic machines with the Xantheans' space-time manipulators and the Zha'thik's interdimensional travel capabilities. Humans contributed their own innovations, drawing on their knowledge of quantum physics and advanced materials. Days turned into weeks as they toiled, their efforts culminating in the creation of a massive interstellar device. This device, dubbed the Galactic Harmonizer, was designed to amplify and disrupt the Voidbringer's frequency, while simultaneously creating a containment field to isolate it. Finally, the day came when the Galactic Harmonizer was ready. The Allies gathered around it, their hearts heavy with the weight of their mission. Mac looked at each of his companions, seeing the determination in their eyes. Today we fight for the fate of the universe, Max said. Today we restore the balance. The Galactic Harmonizer activated with a blinding flash of light. The vortex around them began to warp and twist, as if the very fabric of space-time was being stretched to its limits. The Allies held their breath, hoping that their plan would work. Slowly, the vortex began to stabilize. The darkness at its center started to recede, revealing a swirling mass of energy that pulsed with a malevolent rhythm. The Voidbringer, its true form revealed, thrashed and screamed in silent agony as the Galactic Harmonizer's frequency disrupted its core. The containment field took effect, isolating the Voidbringer from the rest of the universe. The Allies watched in awe as the energy of the Voidbringer began to dissipate, its influence waning. But the battle was not over yet. The Voidbringer, desperate and enraged, fought back with all its might. The containment field flickered and threatened to collapse, but the Allies stood firm. They channeled their combined strength into the Galactic Harmonizer, reinforcing the field and pushing back against the Voidbringer's attacks. Hours passed like an eternity. The Allies' resolve never wavered. They fought with every ounce of their strength, their determination unshakable. And finally, with a deafening roar, the Voidbringer's energy dissipated completely. The containment field held, and the vortex began to close. As the vortex sealed shut, the Allies let out a collective sigh of relief. The universe was saved. The balance had been restored. Chapter 10. Back at the fleet, the news of their victories spread like wildfire. The humans, the Nexarions, the Zha'thik, and the Xantheans celebrated their triumph. They could all return to their homes now. The Krail, freed from the Voidbringer's influence, retreated to the shadows, their militaristic ambitions tempered by the lessons of their defeat. After returning to Earth, Max stood on a hill overlooking the rebuilt city, watching as people from different civilizations mingled and celebrated. The world had changed, but it was a change for the better. The universe was at peace, and humanity had found its place in the stars. Kennard joined Mac, standing beside him in silence for a moment before speaking. "You did it, Mac. You brought us together, and you saved both of our worlds." Mac smiled, looking out at the horizon. "We did it. Together." As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the city, Mac knew that their journey was far from over. But for now, they had won. The universe was safe, and the future was bright. And so, this story of interdimensional conflict became a legend, a tale of courage, unity, and the power of friendship. Mac and Kennard's names would be remembered for generations to come, a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who dared to stand against the darkness and restore the balance of the universe.